Yo, what's going on YouTube? GZTV back with another video. I'm going to try to be a little quick with this video. I mean, it is the finale to The Watcher. It is pretty exciting stuff. We are going to talk about it here. I still have to watch The Walking Dead because I'm going to be really busy tonight. I'm going to be honest. This is probably the last video, the only video you're going to get today. I don't think I'm going to be able to get you guys an NBA recap tonight, unfortunately, because I'm going to go to work from 2 to 9, and then I'm going to hang out with my friends all night. So, yeah. I don't know. Well, let's go. This episode is called Haunting. It is the series finale, I think, for The Watcher, because there's not any more developments in the case. I think they covered everything, so, yeah. It is one good news after the other for Nora as episode 7 of The Watcher begins. This is where we start to reach a resolution. We don't have a full resolution, but at least the main characters are happier and de-stressed, and they're moving on, so that's good. While her first show is a complete success, half of her next has already been sold, so she's making a lot of money, and of course it's kind of bad timing because they move out of this house being watched by someone literally right as our art starts to take off. I mean, if these people weren't bothering them, they could have prospered in this house. And nobody knows who was the Watcher, by the way. I'm just going to put that out right now. Kind of disappointing for me to hear that. You know, I kind of wanted to hear, like, Maureen be it, or someone be it. I mean, they still don't know who did this, and I don't think they'll ever find out who did it. I'm gonna be honest. I think this will be a cold case for the next century. And for the most part, I think the family in real life has probably moved on, so I don't think they're too worried about it. I don't know. She has received invitations from Geneva and Miami Basel to present a show there too. Dean isn't doing well though, having stayed at the house with the kids. Nora's doing great. Dean is not so well off. Although Nora says it is because they didn't want to leave the kids alone, the actual reason is more devastating. He still isn't over obsession with the house and the mystery that missed them. He really wants to solve this thing, and I don't blame him on it, obviously, or honestly. I would want to solve it too. I don't think I could leave a stone like that unturned. I don't know, it would just rub me the wrong way. He has some delusional. He has become delusional, talking about John Johnson and hiring a composite sketch artist. He even talks about the growing sickness in the house that he tried and failed to bring his family out of. Yeah, he's still on this. He's still kind of centered on this, and Nora is like, no, we gotta move on. Well, Nora tries to thwart him back towards reality and explains that the violence was random, not targeted. Not everything has to have this specific motive to it. It's in a crime. I mean, you know. Theodora calls with bad news. She has been taken off the trial, and that the cancer has spread all over her body, so she is on her deathbed. She's probably about to die. No, Theodora Birch is a character I actually liked throughout the series. While Dean is off to fetch some things for Theodora, Nora mentions her problem with Dean's obsession with her. The next morning, Nora reads a new headline from the papers claiming that the previous owners of 657 Boulevard are now targeting their former neighbors and writing them threatening letters. So now they are being put under the spotlight. They're being put under fire again. Yeah. It just doesn't end. I don't know why they can't just move out of the house and people leave them alone, but nope. It's not the case. You know why, though? It's because of fucking Dean. Dean reluctantly accepts it as him doing the deed, and Nora is disappointed. She's like, Dean, you gotta get out of this, man. You gotta stop doing shit like this. We moved into a new house. We have a whole new life. I don't know why you're still targeting your own neighbors. You don't even know who did it, so. So many saying that Dean is ruining his family by not letting it go. She wants to almost end the relationship with him because of this situation. She will break off the marriage if he doesn't go with her to apologize to the neighbors. He receives a call from Theodora, who calls him to the hospital. Nora is out with her friends, so it's just these two this time. They can have kind of this private conversation. She concedes that she is, in fact, the Watcher. She is the previous owner of the house. Guys, I hate to break it to you, but that's a lie. A lot of things in this show have been lies, and that's kind of the mystery of it. After her husband died, she saved up a lot of money and bought it. This is kind of her fake-ass story. She fell in love at first sight and was then diagnosed. Treatment was expensive, but an oncologist in Mexico drained all her money. Theodora wanted to change the situation, but couldn't. She was forced into selling the house, only to later discover that her husband had $500,000 in royalties, $1.5 million in royalties, hidden away somewhere, which she now inherited, which is very unfortunate. Again, very bad timing. Kind of the same situation that the Brannicks here in this story are facing, you know. It's not like they couldn't afford the house, this situation, though. It's just that bad things are happening, and the second they move out of the house, they find out that Nora is, like, doing great with her art. Theodora confides to Dean that she felt like a prank was played on her. And then she concocted the plan to get the house back by convincing them to sell because of the letters, right? When Dean asks why she is telling it to him now, Theodora says because they covered her tracks well. The question would always haunt him, like she wanted him to know about it. She made Graf up to make the story more compelling. She hired an artist to play the girl in that video with Dean sleeping, so all this was definitely a hoax. I think she actually did all of that stuff, but we don't know for a fact if she is the Watcher. Maybe she hired someone else to be the Watcher and her just hire all these people to help the Watcher. We don't know. Andrew, she reveals, did indeed live in the house, but was a drug addict and very suggestible. Like, he believed a lot of weird shit happened in the house, and obviously he was probably hallucinating. He was probably seeing things. Using some of the photos, Theodora convinced Andrew of those details about Mo and Mitch. That had never happened in reality. H then tells Nora about the same, and she is angry too. The couple has a moment of reckoning. They're like, oh my god, unbelievable. We worked with someone that was the Watcher this whole time. The next morning, Dean drives up to Mo's house and apologizes. Mitch has unfortunately passed away due to an embolism, which is very unfortunate. Rest in peace, I guess, because he's innocent for now. H, who the fuck is H? Is that Dean? H. H mentions Theodora when Mo asks who the culprit was, and then Mo says something shocking. She never had a black neighbor. No one of that description ever lived on 657 Boulevard. So again, this is when, we knew, but it's all a lie again. At her wake, the Brannicks learned the truth. It was only because of Nora's heartfelt confession that Theodora planned to relieve Dean of the obsession by lying to him. She was not the Watcher. She just wanted Dean to not have to worry about it anymore. A brief flashback shows that an LLC bought it. So Karen and Darren's plan was indeed successful. In the present day, the Preservation Society meets again. This time, the group has swelled. It is a real meeting, or just something that Murphy is it a real meeting, or just something that Murphy imagines the meeting would have looked like in Dean's head? Roger and Mo are part of it too. Maybe that is what Mo tried to convince Roger about that morning we saw in episode 6. John's full name is said to be William Webster. How cool that it sounds like John Johnson. It is another suggestion the meeting never really happened, but who knows. Roger even asks Bill about his family with a coy smile on his face and ominous music playing in the background. Was the legend of John Graff true? We will never know if that murder actually happened in that house. I don't think anyone's ever proved that there was a guy named John Graff that lived in that house and killed his family. I don't think. They talk about the kitchen countertop in the Brannick house like they're so fucking obsessed. It's really weird. I think that one of them in real life is definitely... if they actually held this meeting, if they're actually this fucking obsessed, if the Preservation Society is actually real, one of them is definitely the culprit. I don't see who else it would be out of that group of people. Roger's apprehensive of intruding like this, but Pearl and John back their claims. Karen has bought the house and started to live in it. Nora pays her a visit. So yeah. Maybe Karen was the Watcher. She was the one that wanted to get them out of the house. When her tone is again accusatory, Karen lashes back saying the Brannicks were stupid to be scared by the dumb letters. You're about to be scared soon. Yeah, what happened to Karen was funny as hell. Karen just took up a smart business opportunity to make money. It seems like she's telling the truth that she was the one who asked Nora to stay back in episode 2 when she first tells the agent about it. But seeing her wobbly, Karen sniffed out the chance and went for the kill. That is why she is the best in the business. While leaving, Nora says she will be watching her. Mo and Pearl greet Karen with sweets, but she sends them away. She's on a keto diet. And now Karen starts experiencing these same things the Brannicks did. Someone calls and hangs up. Yeah, man, you gotta be careful what you wish for, Karen. Somehow, the taps in the bathtub are opened and the water overflows into the living room downstairs. The stairs. Chamberlain refuses to help her after she calls for help. I mean, I think they're like left the relationship on a bad note, I guess. She runs out of the house that night after the dog is murdered, and someone stands on the staircase with a knife in front of her. So, like, an actual watcher's like, I don't know if this actually happened, but that'd be crazy if it did. Dean has taken therapy sometime in the future. He talks to the therapist about his kids and Nora, who are all doing really well. Although he indicates he has been able to move on now, he can't stop compulsively thinking about it. He concedes to the therapist in the next moment he is still out for revenge and answers. Maybe the story doesn't have a happy ending. The house has a new family. They look happy enough from the outside as the neighbors see them settling in. The usual antics with Jasper, Pero, William, and Mo begin, just as they did with the Brannocks. In hindsight, it is as terrible and nightmarish as before. Dean stands outside the house and looks on. Ben, the owner, greets him and Dean. Dean introduces himself as John Graff, which is fucking crazy. He lies about living in Westfield and posts a letter in the mailbox as the Watcher. Nora calls him into the car, and he lies that he is stuck in traffic. She is proud of his changing behavior, and he just cannot stop thinking about the house. As he circles around the neighborhood towards his own house, another car pulls up, indicating it was following him. It is Nora, who knows what is up, but has a blank look on her face. Well, that was a bit anticlimactic. Whenever occasions like these present themselves, Commissioner Gordon's words ring loud and clear. You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become a villain. Dean Brannick completely went off the rails after his family was forced to move out, and to his family he would be a villain. His madness and paranoia cost them their happiness, and you could feel how close Nora was to losing it herself in this finale. Overall, we still are left with negligible answers. Like the other episodes, we have small cues as to who the Watcher could possibly be. What was interesting was how Ryan Murphy and the writers made the decision to keep the conspiracy theories just that. The deception was subtle enough to make us think one thing when that particular thing meant something else. Jennifer Lynch helmed this episode and brought her characteristic details crazed stamp to it. The quality was certainly elevated owing to her work in it. You might not have all the answers from this show, but it was one hell of a ride. This show was amazing. This and Dahmer, some of the best Netflix originals that have been introduced this year. But yeah, I'll leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I gotta go watch The Walking Dead. I gotta go make some lunch and stuff. Get ready for work. It's gonna be my last work day of the week. We got Christmas. I think I might stream tomorrow and Christmas Eve tomorrow night. We might just do some reactions. I don't think I'm gonna do any like video games. We have stuff to react to, but TikTok should be out today.